name is Denise Blackman. I'm from Barbados.
My name is Zoe Turner. I'm from England.
My name is Sophia, I'm 26 years old, I'm from Argentina.
My name's Harriet Jones and I'm from Yorkshire, which is in the north of England.
Hi, I'm Haitian Xu Haitian. Yeah, that's my Chinese name. You can call me Jerry.
I think there's a big link between food and the consumption of food and socializing, because usually, like, even if people go out, they go out to drink or they go out to eat. So yeah, and then even if you are spending a long amount of time with somebody, at some point in time you guys have to eat. So I don't think that you could really separate the two.
I'd say there's a strong relationship. If you think to every situation in your life, family, friends, work, you normally bond with people over lunchtime or going out after work for a meal or something like that. Thinking back to starting my course at uni this year, probably made most of my friends kind of going to get coffee on a break or going out for lunch between lectures and things like that. So there's definitely a strong relationship.
I think it is the relationship between socializing, social events and food is very, very tight. At least in Argentina, we are very, very fond of our family and friends, and most of our gatherings involve eating and drinking. A very common thing to do is to have a barbecue with friends and family on the weekends. Sometimes, in some cases, this can happen every week. Sometimes it's once a month. My family and I would try to get together once a month, generally on the Sundays, to have a barbecue all together, and it's a great way to catch up and see where everyone's at. And at the same time, with my friends from school, I graduated school 8 years ago, and since then, every Wednesday night we have a meal all together. So in my culture, and at least for me, it's very, very important. It's a thing that happens a lot.
I don't think the relationship for me is very big. I think eating in my head is very much something that I need to do. I love doing it, I love food, but I don't necessarily connect it to anything. But it does become a big part of when you're with people, just because when you're with people you need to eat.
I think it's from my culture and also the experience I had in UK. It's kind of important. Like I always have food with my friend when we going out together. Like food is always the first thing we go to. Like we have food first, then we go to shopping or cinema or something else. And like in China, it's also a big thing. Like we associate with our business, our family, relatives by having food together. So yeah, it's really important to me.
It honestly depends on the day, because sometimes I'll just be really stressed and want to spend the evenings on my own if I've been in uni all day or spent all day with people. But in terms of at home, my family are quite food orientated, so on a night we'll be expected to kind of sit around the table or watch TV with food on our laps. So in that situation, I'm kind of expected to eat with people.
A lot of the things I do depend on my mood, and eating is one of them. Sometimes I enjoy being by myself, I love being by myself, but at the same time, sometimes it can be a little bit too much, and if I've been on my own the whole day, I don't want to eat on my own. I want to have at least that time of the day. At the same time, if it's at midday, like if I know I'm going to have to be alone all day, I want to have the possibility of being with somebody and sharing that with somebody else.
Depends on where I am. If I'm at home and I mean, there's no way I can have dinner by myself when my parents are at home. Like, if I said, I don't want to have dinner with you, I want to have dinner in my room, they're like, what are you saying? Do you want to repeat that again? But if I would, like in here, I always have dinner by myself.
No, my country is so small, everybody just eats the same thing.
I don't really know about the south, but I know there's definitely a thing in the north where chips and gravy are known as like one of the staple foods that people will have. In the northeast, in Sunderland, people have cheesy chips all the time, but I'm not sure about the Midlands or the south.
In Argentina, wine and meat, like our barbecues are a very big thing all over the country, all across the country. There are different, not traditions, but different plates and dishes that are made in the north especially, because the north of Argentina, the northwest of Argentina is very close to Peru and Bolivia, and so some of the dishes are sort of similar to them. So I love things with corn and I wouldn't know any more, but like they're sort of similar. And at the same time, in the northeast of the country is very close to Brazil and Paraguay. So there's also like a little bit of an influence. Not really, it's not the same, but like more of an influence of their cuisine. And you don't see that in the rest of the country. Perhaps you do have it, but it's not the real thing. It's like we copy it, but it's not the same thing. it's an interesting one. I think it's interesting to establish a relationship through food because I like the connection that sometimes happens when you're with somebody that is very passionate about the food that you're having, just as you are. I don't know, but I would not, I don't know, talking in a couple sort of thing, I would not go on a first date with someone out for a meal because I think it's a little bit too intimate. I have done it on a second date, but not the first time.
No, I don't think it's something that is as important as like we'd base it around. I don't think so.
I only have this one experience, but it's like really interesting. And when I was traveling in Rome, I was like, I really into I want to try the local food. So I found this restaurant on the TripAdvisor. And I think the location they put on the website is wrong. So I kept circling in this street and I couldn't find the restaurant. And there's a girl who's also like holding her phone and keeps cycling, and we run into each other like several times. And I don't have the nerve to speak to her. And so she approached me and asked me, "Are you finding the same restaurant?" And so then we found this restaurant, and when they're together, we are in a queue. So we have a drink together. Then we naturally we share the table and we have a conversation, like a dinner for 5 hours. And after that, we have we agree to meet the next day, and we have another 2 meals together in the when I was in Rome. So. But that's the only experience I had when meeting strangers, making new friends.
Temporarily, yeah. If there's something that I like but everybody doesn't want to eat it, then you can compromise. But permanently, probably not. I would not stop eating something because my friends don't eat it. But if I might start eating something because my friends eat it, or if there's something that they like or they introduce me to, then I might start. So I might learn some new foods. Like today we had dumplings and stuff, but I probably wouldn't stop or turn vegan or vegetarian or whatever just because my friend is.
I have a few friends in general who are either vegetarians or vegans. Meat being such a big thing in Argentina, there are vegetarians, there are people who are vegetarians, who are vegans, who are different things, but we eat a lot of meat. And I do think that I have gotten a little bit healthier for listening to what these friends have to say. I would not change that eating habit. I would not stop eating meat or products that come from animals because of that, because I really like it and I don't really feel that strongly about that. I have tried different kinds of cuisines and different dishes because of friends. I have a friend that has a Lebanese family, sort of, and they have Lebanese food sometimes at her place, and I tried it because of her, and some stuff like that has happened that I've really enjoyed.
I try and be as vegetarian as I possibly can. It goes up and down because I struggle with it sometimes, but I would like to be most of the time because I know that's because I know that I've been influenced by other people in my life who've kind of made me see how important that is, and the good effects it can have on you and the environment, etc., etc. But when people are eating healthily around me, it makes me want to. Does make me think, oh, I should be eating more healthily. But at the same time, my willpower isn't that great. They obviously don't have a massive influence because I'll still carry on as normal.
Yeah, I will, but not a permanently thing. But just because sometimes I go out to have lunch or dinner with my friend. My friend Chloe, she doesn't eat any garlic or onions or that kind of stuff. So I always try to avoid it when we have food together. Or or like Cheryl and Claire, they're really into spicy stuff, and like I can eat spicy, but I can't eat that much spicy. Because when I was with them, I always try to like push my limit because I really like spicy food. So I try to push my limit, see how far I can go with the spicy.
Yeah, I think that in many places people, because eating, especially like in the evening, and especially if it's not at home, if it's out at a restaurant, like is considered a very, very intimate, very private kind of exchange. So I could understand why people would think that that is a good kind of environment to foster new relationships, not just relationships like dating, but business relationships as well. So it makes sense to me.
I don't think that eating over business is a thing in England, not that I'm aware of. I think we're more likely to say, let's go for coffee.
Well, in Argentina, there are meetings around, like work meetings around food and drinks, coffee also, but it's generally between either two business people or something like that. When work comes into the house, and if it's a family dinner, and when somebody's talking about business and it's not well seen. I mean, it's okay if you're discussing your day and you're saying this happened at work and that, but it's generally not well seen if the whole thing is around that.
I don't think so. I think obviously quite a lot of the social situations you get into do involve food and drink, especially in this country. Kind of going to the pub or going out for a meal is a big thing, but I'd like to think it wouldn't affect a proper friendship if you didn't do it for a couple of months.
I do. I think if getting together for a meal, gathering for a meal is a big thing among a group of friends, then not attending to that will definitely affect that. It happened to me a few years ago. I was at a point in my life where I didn't want to go to these meals with my friends, and it started to be a thing because I did not know what was going on with their lives, and it started to show, and they got angry at me, and instead of telling me that they missed me, they just got angry at me, and that happened to me. And I think probably it depends on the culture, like or in this situation and sort of relationship that has been bonded. Like perhaps to somebody else it's not the same, but that was my thing.
I think it depends on how serious the relationship, the friendship is. Like I have some friends that we don't talk to each other like in 3 months or something. The relationship won't change. Like they're still same. But I also have some friends like I meet them by partying together or something. If I miss the party twice or once, naturally the relationship just cool down. Like it depends on the people and we.
180.